Hi people, it's Sarkovist here, and today I'm going to be talking about the key differences between traditional platforming and parkour in video games. Once upon a time, the platformer was one of gaming's most prominent genres, notable examples being of course Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog. Nowadays, however, it seems as if what we generally consider to be traditional platforming has changed into more realistic forms, such as parkour. This shift epitomises the evolution gaming has made since its humble beginnings. Over the years, there has been an obvious improvement in visual quality, which many developers have used to create more realistic and immersive worlds. In this transition, it seems as if games have embraced a much greater focus on spectacle. In Assassin's Creed, the way you navigate the environment is very realistic, however, performing what appear to be intricate maneuvers requires the time merely hold down a button and point in a direction. Conversely, in a more traditional style, Sonic Generations platforming is all about timing. Mastering a level takes time and leads to a very satisfying feeling when you manage to pull off a flawless run. On the other hand though, there is absolutely nothing realistic about Sonic's movements, and, more to the point, nothing realistic about a super fast hedgehog. When it comes to our modern AAA games, developers are far more likely to choose the realistic option as opposed to the abstract one. Although I'd say this change really does not apply to indie games. To be fair, I can't help but be impressed by what the animation team have accomplished with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but at the same time, I never felt a sense of difficulty when it came to traversing the environment. The Assassin's Creed series is quite an extreme example, but even the latest Tomb Raider game took a step in the same direction. Although there is relatively little platforming in the game, what is there is more about creating an immersive visual impact than providing a genuine challenge. However, an example of what I consider to be a good blend of these two approaches would be Titanfall. Although Respawn have deemed it parkour, I think the way you traverse the environment actually has more in common with traditional platforming, which I admit initially sounds strange considering it's a multiplayer first-person shooter. One reason for me thinking this is that the jump button is never contextually altered, the action is always the same no matter where you are. In contrast to this in Tomb Raider, Lara will often jump further when the game requires you to cover a large gap, which creates a sense of automation. Having a consistent jump action places navigation entirely in the hands of the player, which is the case in Titanfall. Also, if you take a moment to consider what you're actually doing in Titanfall, the physics are all wrong. For one thing, how do pilots take absolutely no falling damage after ejecting from a Titan? This approach is reminiscent of the abstract style we see in Sonic Generations. Sure, the developers could have been realistic and incorporated falling damage, but I honestly believe this would have hindered the enjoyable flow of gameplay. However, the game does loosely convey a sense of realism. For example, the age-old double jump mechanic is explained through the use of a jetpack. What I would personally like to see moving forward is more of what Titanfall is offering. It takes the best of both worlds by creating an illusion of realism, but without letting it get in the way of interactive and occasionally challenging movement. So, which approach do you prefer? Do you love the traditional platforming mechanics of games like Mario and Sonic? Or do you favour the more realistic approach seen in games such as Assassin's Creed? Or perhaps like me, you enjoy games that find a sensible combination of the two? As always people, thanks so much for watching and see you next time.